You disappear. You go silent. No texts, no calls. You're waiting for your absence to strike like a thunderclap, for them to miss you, to feel your void. But days pass, weeks even, and nothing. They don't come back. They don't ask. They don't even flinch. And in that moment, you're not just silent, you're invisible. And here's the brutal truth most men avoid. Silence has no power, unless you do. Because silence is only respected when your presence was unforgettable. Let's reveal the truth Stoic men know, and why your silence fell on deaf ears. 1. Silence is a weapon, not a weak cry. Most men use silence as a test, a desperate passive-aggressive attempt to provoke a response. You think if you withdraw, they'll chase. You think if you say nothing, they'll feel everything. But understand this. Silence, in its rawest form, is a weapon. And like any weapon, in the hands of the untrained, it's useless or dangerous. A Stoic man doesn't use silence to provoke emotion. He uses it to control his own. Silence is sacred when it's paired with discipline, but when it's paired with longing, it's just quiet begging. 2. They never valued your presence, so why fear your absence? A painful truth. They're not reacting to your silence, because they never needed your noise in the first place. You were too available. You texted first. You stayed late. You forgave easily. You made yourself convenient. And now you're gone. And they feel relieved, not regretful. Because in their eyes, you were replaceable long before you ever went silent. Here's what Stoic men understand. Presence must be felt. Before absence can be missed, you must first be a force in their world, before your silence ever shakes their universe. 3. You are not silence. You are weakness, disguised as silence. Let's be honest. You didn't go silent because you're strong. You went silent because you were tired of being ignored. You're not detached. You're wounded. You're hoping they'll notice, hoping they'll care, hoping they'll change. That's not power. That's emotional gambling. True Stoic silence isn't passive. It's productive. It doesn't cry in secret. It creates in silence. It doesn't wait for a text. It trains for tomorrow. The man who truly embraces silence doesn't sit in darkness. He builds in it. 4. Your silence isn't working because you never did. A man of value doesn't go silent to punish. He goes silent to protect, to recalibrate, to evolve. You want your silence to sting? Then earn the right to be missed. You must become the man whose absence isn't empty. It's haunting. The one whose silence means you're growing, you're leveling up, you're building a life they can no longer reach. Silence doesn't work unless you do, because silence backed by weakness is forgettable. But silence backed by greatness? That's legendary. 5. Stop using silence as a reaction. Here's the core of Stoic wisdom. Never use silence as a reaction. Use it as a strategy. You don't go silent to teach them a lesson. You go silent because you learned yours. You learned. They didn't respect your presence. You were giving too much too soon. You lost yourself trying to win someone else. So now, you retreat. Not to beg with silence, but to reclaim your power. And when they finally look back, they won't see the same man. They'll see a shadow they can no longer touch. 6. Be the man whose absence creates a scar. There's a difference between being ignored and being unforgettable. You must become the man whose absence causes unease, whose silence sparks doubt, whose name lingers in their mind, not out of love, but reverence. To do that, you must speak less, act more, train harder, not talk louder. Master your finances, your mind, your mission. When you become a man of purpose, Your silence will no longer be an empty space. It will be a thunderous statement. 7. Stoic final words. Silence is power. Only in the hands of the strong. In the end, understand this. Silence is not a button you press to make them care. It's a result of becoming too focused on your destiny, to waste time explaining your worth. You don't use silence to hurt them. You use it to heal you. And when that silence is filled with discipline, when it's filled with power, ambition, stillness, and growth, you won't care if they notice. Because by then, you'll be too far ahead to hear their applause. Silence is not the absence of noise. It is the presence of power. Make yours so loud, the world listens without a word. Subscribe for more powerful Stoicism and psychology. Comment Stoic if you agree.